To understand the liver's destruction, we must abandon the misconception that it is merely a filter for toxins. In reality, the liver is the central metabolic processing hub of the body. It manages everything from synthesizing blood proteins and cholesterol to maintaining blood sugar homeostasis. Consuming health-conscious processed foods means you are doing more than just eating calories. You are delivering a targeted chemical strike to your metabolic regulation center. The primary culprit is the overconsumption of fructose, specifically high-fructose corn syrup and concentrated sugars. Unlike glucose, which fuels every cell, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively by the liver. A fruit smoothie without fiber causes fructose to reach the liver in a high-velocity surge. The liver cannot shunt this much energy into storage or ATP all at once. It defaults to de novo lipogenesis, effectively converting excess sugar into fat. It creates triglycerides that build up directly inside your liver cells. This is the origin of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a massive modern health crisis. It remains asymptomatic until the damage becomes structural and often irreversible. Structural damage appears as cracks on the liver's surface, as if drying out. Microscopic views show the transition from healthy cells to scarred, fatty tissue. The liver slowly sinks into a pool of dark, thick ink. Individual cells eventually burst under the weight of fat accumulation. Metabolism slows down, leaving behind lasting structural damage. The narrative of low-fat health is perhaps the greatest marketing deception in the history of the food industry. When manufacturers remove fat from products like yogurt, salad dressings, and prepackaged meals, the resulting product loses its texture. To compensate, they introduce high concentrations of sugars and refined starches. This is the first step of the liver-clogging cycle. When you eat a low-fat yogurt marketed as healthy, you are essentially forcing your liver to initiate lipogenesis immediately. The fat droplets, triglycerides, begin to accumulate inside the liver cells. This is called hepatic steatosis. As these droplets grow, they do not remain inert. They cause mechanical stress to the cellular organelles, particularly the endoplasmic reticulum, which is the site of protein folding and lipid metabolism. This mechanical stress triggers an unfolded protein response, leading to cellular inflammation and the production of reactive oxygen species. These free radicals start attacking the cell's internal structures and DNA. Because you feel no pain in the liver, you continue to consume these healthy snacks, never realizing that you are essentially turning your liver into a fatty organ. This process is similar to how foie gras is produced in geese. The liver completely transforms, losing its function and health. Your choices, driven by marketing, create a metabolic burden your body wasn't meant to carry. The hidden sugar in low-fat foods is the true culprit behind the obesity of our internal organs. Look past the labels and understand the chemistry of what you consume. Don't let marketing turn your health into a statistic. Your liver depends on the truth, not the trend. Beyond the sugar-fructose trap, we must address the destabilization caused by refined seed oils, so-called vegetable oils like soybean, corn, canola, and sunflower oil. You will find these listed as ingredients in almost every fitness-focused granola bar, vegan patty, and bottled salad dressing. These oils are chemically polyunsaturated fats, which are structurally fragile. During the industrial refining process, involving high heat, chemical solvents like hexane, and deodorization, these oils become oxidized. When you consume them, they arrive in your liver as highly reactive molecules that initiate a cascade of oxidative stress. This stress is not limited to the liver. It triggers systemic inflammation that impacts your entire endocrine system. But the liver takes the brunt of the trauma because it is the first point of contact for nutrients absorbed through the portal vein. These oxidized fats contribute to the accumulation of lipotoxicity, a state where the liver cells are so poisoned by the combination of fructose-derived fats and lipid-derived oxidation products that they begin to die. This cell death is the catalyst for the next, more dangerous stage of liver disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or NASH. In NASH, the inflammation is no longer contained within the cells. It has spilled over into the entire tissue matrix. The body's immune system, specifically the Kupffer cells, the liver's specialized resident macrophages, become hyperactivated. By the presence of dead hepatocytes and oxidized lipids, they release inflammatory cytokines, such as TNF-alpha and interleukin-6, which recruit further immune cells to the site. This creates a chronic, low-grade wildfire within your liver. The tissue becomes swollen, tender, and microscopically scarred. This process drives systemic inflammation throughout the body. Protect your liver by choosing stable, natural fats over industrial seed oils. In NASH, the inflammation is no longer contained within the cells. It has spilled over into the entire tissue matrix. The body's immune system, specifically the Kupffer cells, the liver's specialized resident macrophages, become hyperactivated by the presence of dead hepatocytes and oxidized lipids. They release inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha and interleukin-6, which recruit further immune cells to the site. This creates a chronic, low-grade wildfire within your liver. The tissue becomes swollen, tender, and microscopically scarred. But the liver, in its infinite biological tenacity, attempts to repair this damage. It activates hepatic stellate cells, which transform into myofibroblasts, the architects of scar tissue. They begin laying down dense collagen fibers in the interstitial spaces of the liver. This is the start of fibrosis. The liver, once soft, pliable, and efficient, begins to lose its ability to filter your blood. Think about what this means for your blood chemistry. Your liver acts as the primary cleaner for the blood coming from your intestines. It captures bacteria, endotoxins, and ammonia before they can reach the rest of your body. As fibrosis progresses and collagen fibers harden the tissue, the blood flow, the portal venous flow, is obstructed. The liver's ability to scrub the blood of ammonia begins to wane. This ammonia is a potent neurotoxin. When it bypasses the liver and enters your systemic circulation, it crosses the blood-brain barrier. This is the physiological origin of the brain fog so many people experience in their 30s and 40s. It isn't just stress or lack of sleep. It is a mild, chronic form of hepatic encephalopathy. Your brain is essentially struggling to function while being bathed in a dilute solution of metabolic waste. This waste is what your damaged liver can no longer process. The liver is unable to scrub the blood, leaving the system flooded. This rising tide leads to a state known as hepatic encephalopathy. Consider the natural sweeteners like agave nectar or coconut sugar. People reach for these, believing they are choosing an artisanal and healthy path. However, medically speaking, these are often more dangerous than table sugar. Agave can reach 90% fructose content, a concentrated toxic load for the liver. It bypasses regulatory checkpoints used to manage energy. When you eat a whole carbohydrate like a sweet potato, digestion is slow and the energy manageable. But hit the liver with concentrated liquid sweeteners or processed snacks, and you overwhelm the machinery, forcing a choice between detoxification and fat storage. Because of the insulin spikes associated with these snacks, the liver almost always chooses fat storage, suppressing its natural golden aura of detoxification. Prepackaged health bars use refined seed oils and high fructose syrups without fiber. This is a three-pronged attack the liver was not evolutionarily designed to handle. Daily consumption prevents the liver from ever entering a fasted or repair state, keeping it in a permanent cycle of lipogenesis and inflammatory repair. Eventually, the capacity to repair is exceeded. Collagen scarring begins to tighten like roots through the liver, making the damage increasingly difficult to reverse. The texture shifts to a hard, jagged state representing cirrhosis. Function becomes so compromised that risks for liver failure and carcinoma rise significantly. The solution is not found in a pill. It is found in the radical simplification of your intake. View every processed item with deep suspicion. Return to the concept of food as a structural biological input. Your liver requires choline from egg yolks and antioxidants from cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. Moving to a whole food, plant-forward diet reduces portal pressure immediately. You finally provide the raw materials needed for the liver to start clearing accumulated fat. Once freed from the constant bombardment of fructose, hepatocytes begin to undergo autophagy, a process where cells clean out their internal debris and toxic waste. This effectively defats the liver from the inside out, transitioning the organ from a dark, heavy texture to a light, translucent, and lean state. Recognize that your metabolic health is entirely within your control. You must strip away the marketing layer and focus purely on the underlying chemistry. Your liver does not care about branding. It only cares about the molecular structure of nutrients. It will restore itself if you stop the destruction. The transformation to an efficient metabolic hub is a physiological inevitability. Brain fog clears like dissipating mist, revealing a steady, bright glow from within. As a healthy metabolic hub, the liver begins pulsing energy toward the rest of the body, radiating vitality through restored pathways and biological efficiency. This is the journey of metabolic restoration, removing liquid sugars and oxidized seed oils that dominate the modern diet and replacing them with intact nutrients. When you stop the chemical assault, you give the liver the opportunity to heal itself and return the body to a state of life-sustaining homeostasis. This is the only legitimate detox, stopping the damage and allowing the organ to perform the recovery work it is naturally programmed to execute.